اليوم في معانا ضيفة كتير مميزة. بدنا نحكي بشكل سريع عن موضوع التمايز أو الديفرنشيشن. والتمايز هو فلسفة التعامل مع الاحتياجات الأكاديمية والعاطفية للطلاب جوا الغرفة الصفية عشان نقدر إنه نوصل للطلبة بكافة احتياجاتهم بنفس الدرس اللي بينعطى بالصف. أي حدا إذا بده يعمل أي ريسيرش بسيط على الموضوع التمايز أو الديفرنشيشن أكيد رح تطلع معه اسم ضيفتنا لليوم. So I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Carol Ann Tomlinson. She's a very well-known educator that specializes in differentiated instruction. So welcome.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. One of the common questions that teachers face whenever we talk about differentiation is the fact that you have a syllabus that you need to cover at a specific time. So some teachers feel that that differentiation takes time. So if they wanted to focus on differentiation, this might hinder, in a sense, the time factor for them to cover their content. What sort of advice do you have for teachers who feel that?
I don't think I have advice that mostly they're going to want to hear, actually, but we for the first time in the history of teaching, we have neuroscience that tells us how the brain learns. So far, it hasn't told us anything that we hadn't already figured out, I think. But what we really know is that just because a teacher covers curriculum does not mean that all students really learn it well. The brain that does the work is the one that's learning. And so when the teacher feels that he or she can't stop during a week or a month or a year because they have to just forage all the way through that, we are working from a real misconception that what the teacher does is going to determine what the student does. If the teacher feels that pretty much all of the time in class has to be teacher-driven, then that's a problem with learning, because when the teacher is the one who's truly doing the thinking and the delivering, the students are not getting very much. So let me come up with a slightly happier scenario. Let's say the teacher says, boy, you know, this time is tight, the schedule's tight, and I can really only give 25 minutes a week, 40 minutes a week, 15 minutes a week for students to do something in the class other than sit and listen. If you can give 20 minutes a week, then you can differentiate in those 20 minutes. You don't have to do those 20 plus 20 more. So the question really is, can you see a way to envision teaching as something other than the teacher telling? And whatever time you feel you can take away from the teacher telling, you can differentiate as efficiently as if you had given the kid an activity or a task to do that everybody was doing the same one. Differentiation takes no more time than whatever time you allow for students to do something so that they come to own the material. If you feel like you can't give them any time, then that's a problem.
Now, on the very same thing, like for example, when teachers, you know that at the end of the year there are some national or international external exams. And some teachers also fear, on the other side of it, is that if they have their students in the classroom, so they can differentiate, they can create different tasks, different tests for them. But the problem is that when you have an external exam, the questions are set for everybody. So sort of one size fits all in the same sense. So where do you think differentiation comes here in order to tackle this issue?
So I'll say two things with that. If you are teaching by trying to get everybody to do all the same stuff all the time so you don't ever vary anything, and all of your students do brilliantly on the exam, whether it's national or international, then you probably don't need to change very much. But my guess would be in almost every class, there's some students who are lagging behind and some students who are confused and some students who could push much further. And that's the motivation to differentiate. Differentiation doesn't suggest that you change the content for students. It suggests that you give students different support systems or different ways to learn. And if your goal is for each student to achieve maximum success, you probably are going to have to support them in different ways. I don't make everybody successful by treating them all alike all the time.
True.
But that does not mean that differentiation suggests that you change the requirements of the curriculum. It just creates multiple pathways to get where you need to go.
Thank you so much for being with us.
welcome.
وإن شاء الله تكونوا إنه في معلومات قيمة بهذا الشيء. Thank you so much again. Thank you. Thanks.